You're with Star Television Network on Channel 21, and this is the national news with me, Sienna Wright. First, the headlines. On Wednesday, 5th June 2019, Sierra Leone observed World Environment Day with the theme, He who plants trees loves others besides himself.
Today is World Environment Day, a day set aside by the United Nations to remind all of us about the relationship between humans and the environment.
The Ministry of Health and Sanitation, in partnership with the Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the 34 Military Hospital, as part of their drive to enhance infection prevention and control measures within the health facilities.
I particularly want to appreciate the Ministry of Health. This is one of many things we have been collaborating on. A few weeks ago, we commemorated the World Malaria Day.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police, Kalia Sise, has updated media practitioners and journalists at the headquarters of Sierra Leone during a press briefing.
On Friday, after the court verdict, they went to their headquarters. Police closely monitored because they were singing, jumping here and there. So, as usual, police deployed around, monitoring what they were doing. After a while, they made roadblocks. They started setting fire on the tires.
Benjamin Toure of the SLPP has on Sunday, 2nd June 2019, held his first stakeholders meeting with the members of his constituency to thank them for their support.
This meeting, in the case of what the outcome of the petition case, and I end up to be the winner of the court matter, and so I'm here to call my people and just say thanks to them, their support they given to me during the day, during the night. They are with me, so I'm here to tell them thanks and ready to give them my support at least to us to deliver this constituency.
Sierra Leone's Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Jule Jallo, has disclosed during a stakeholders meeting held in Potloko District that the chairman and leader of the main opposition All People's Congress Party, Dr. Anas Baikoroma, has refused to accept results of the 2018 presidential elections.
I want to say one thing. We want to let the country go before. But anybody who not respect law and order will deal with you according to the law.
All this, including sports, will be part of the bulletin. It's now time for the news in detail with me, Sienna Wright. As Sierra Leone on Wednesday, 5th June 2019, observed World Environment Day with the theme, He who plants trees loves others besides himself. The executive chairperson of the Environment Protection Agency, Professor Fode Mori Jawad, addressed the nation on the importance of protecting the environment.
Good day to you all. Today is World Environment Day, a day set aside by the United Nations to remind all of us about the relationship between humans and the environment. It is a day that should encourage us to reflect on our actions that have negative effects on the environment and human health. The theme for this year is air pollution, a call to action to combat one of the greatest environmental challenges of our time. This Environmental Awareness Day invites us all to consider how we can make changes in our everyday lives to reduce the amount of air pollution. Okay. The theme for this year is air pollution, a call to action to combat one of the greatest environmental challenges of our time. This Environmental Awareness Day invites us all to consider how we can make changes in our everyday lives to reduce the amount of air pollution. By tackling air pollution, we are also helping to reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases. People's health stands to benefit too. To mark this day, the Environment Protection Agency undertakes a week-long calendar of events that will include a float parade and a panel discussion by experts, including civil society. As a government institution responsible for the protection of the environment that ensures sound environmental management, EPA has instituted a number of measures that are geared towards fulfilling its statutory mandate. We have put in place a regulatory framework to deter environmental offenses by commissioning an environmental court, established partnerships with other ministries, departments and agencies, the media, local councils and civil society, supported women's groups to practice climate-smart agriculture and tree planting, trained and certified technicians to repair refrigerators, facilitated the ratification by Parliament of a number of multilateral environmental agreements related to combating air pollution, conducted air and water quality testing, and have submitted draft regulations on air and water quality to the Law Officers Department to be enacted by Parliament. The environment is a natural gift given to us by God Almighty to sustain our existence on planet Earth. It is a treasure that we depend upon for our survival as much as it depends on us for its survival. A healthy environment is a constitutional right, and we all have a responsibility to keep our water and air clean for a healthy environment. While we reflect on the goodness of Allah, we must also think about the many times that we have taken from the environment and have not given back. In fact, many a time we do not only take from the environment, we neglect it. This is evident by our actions and inactions. We have cut down trees and have not planted back. We emit carbon into the atmosphere with little or no regard for its adverse consequences. We dispose of our waste with reckless abandon. We mine sand and deplete the natural beauty of our beaches. We use hazardous chemicals with no regard for their harmful effects to our health. We decimate our wetlands and mangroves and put our marine life at risk. We carry out indiscriminate burning of our bushes and put thousands of our plant and animal species into extinction. We mine our bauxite, gold, iron ore, rutile, and diamond and cause immense harm to the soil. We construct our buildings without regard for the negative impacts that this may cause to our safety and well-being. Catastrophes like the flooding and mudslide that occurred on the 14th of August 2017 are practical examples of the consequences of environmental neglect in Sierra Leone. The above-mentioned unsustainable human practices catalyze climate change, ozone depletion, and global warming. These practices are also linked to cardiovascular and respiratory diseases, skin cancer, impaired cognitive development, and low intelligence levels. This trend is untenable, and as a people, we cannot afford to be defined by it. Fortunately, we have a president that is committed to fighting environmental degradation and tackling air pollution domestically in our country by prohibiting bushfires, open burning of garbage, and finding alternatives to the burning of agricultural waste, developing and implementing integrated national air quality management, plans to reduce pollutants like methane, nitrous oxide, black carbon, and tropospheric ozone in order to contribute to slow global warming to a maximum of 1.5 degrees centigrade. All these actions can benefit us, animals, vegetation, and even our vital freshwater sources. We must therefore reciprocate by lending him our fullest support. To be a good citizen, one must endeavor to do those things that enhance development and refrain from that which retards progress. Remember that as a good citizen, one of the many ways that you can contribute to Sierra Leone's development is by becoming an agent of change for the effective protection of the environment. I therefore call upon you today to make a solemn commitment for environmental protection in Sierra Leone.
The Ministry of Health and Sanitation, in partnership with the Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the 34 Military Hospital, as part of their drive to enhance infection prevention and control measures within the health facilities, has on Thursday, 6 June 2019, launched the alcoholic-based hand rub project at the 34 Military Hospital, Wilberforce. Our defense correspondent Abdurrahman Kamara put in this report.
Yes, I particularly want to appreciate the Ministry of Health. This is one of many things we have been collaborating on. A few weeks ago, we commemorated the World Malaria Day. We have been working together to conduct simulations on response to Ebola epidemic and other infectious diseases, for example. And generally, I think the Ministry of Health has been quite supportive to the Ministry of Defense, particularly the Joint Medical Unit. I really want to appreciate the Ministry of Health and the Chief Medical Officer for this achievement. And we have other wonderful partners. Of course, this was not achieved by Ministry of Health alone. Technical support has been provided by the World Health Organization. And particularly Hannah Maruta has been here. She is more like a staff now here. Thank you very much for your support. And I hope the WHO representative will also convey our appreciation. We have also achieved a lot and moving towards the Deputy Minister of Defense agenda to see that the President's vision for the health sector is achieved. That is strengthen the health system, develop infrastructure within the health system, get equipment and develop the human resource base. And this is quite in line with the support that we have been receiving from the Deputy Minister of Defense.
The manifesto of this country, which is put together by no other person but the President, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, after free quality education, we jumped onto developing healthcare in this country. And then I went forward, to talk to my colleague yesterday that the military is just a microcosm of the civil society. And what I meant by that is developing 34 is like developing this country. So you see, looking at, again, the conversation that really went on yesterday, I asked the medical doctor, what is your concept of this development at 34? Then he said, there are 4 issues. I want to do refurbishing, I want to do new buildings, I want to do new human resource, I want to do new specialization. Then in all of this, I think he wrapped up with training. But what I see as lubricant for all of these factors, gentlemen and ladies, is doing this job with this kind of sanitizer. You see, when Ebola came here, we struggled. I was almost attached to the UN to really write SOP that soldiers will rely on to do a job that they never trained for. So that happened that time.
Our fight against the dreaded diseases. The notion, and I'll tell you where we are leading. In the global health security agenda, one of the key components is medical countermeasures working with the military and the police. And I'll tell you this categorically. Sierra Leone is showing the world how to work. We, as the civil unit, working with the military, we are showing the world that it can be done. And this is the example that we are setting here. we can work with the military 100%. We want to thank all of you who made that a possibility, and let us continue to show the world that we can lead in so many areas. And this is one area that in the global health security agenda, we in Sierra Leone, we are leading. Let us be proud of ourselves. When that happens, in terms of the global health security agenda, a component is the antimicrobial resistance. Out of that, we saw the need, all of us saw the need that if we cannot prevent infections within our hospitals, then it becomes a death trap for our health workers. No one likes going to a profession, at the end of the day, the profession takes your life.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police, Kalia Sise, has updated media practitioners and journalists at headquarters of Sierra Leone during a press briefing regarding the emerging trend of political infraction in the country and called on the citizenry to have a corporate response from the Sierra Leone police rather than a scattered information. Here is the highlight of the report.
On Friday, after the court verdict, they went to their headquarters. Police closely monitored because they were singing, jumping here and there. So, as usual, police deployed around, monitoring what they were doing. After a while, they made roadblocks. They started setting fire on the tires. So the vehicular traffic was cut off. Pedestrians were actually stopped and frightened from moving towards the direction. And so those that are very sincere, we agree that they started throwing stones, missiles at the police. And so after doing all that, they rushed into their headquarters. See, as they were throwing stones, that means they have become violent. A peaceful demonstration, we actually monitor it. But when it becomes violent, it becomes a public order issue. And so we come in to maintain law and order. So as they were throwing stones, resulting in the injuries of 6 of our officers, 2 very serious. Police responded to go. We went through the screening. We were able to release up to 36. Let me also inform this body that something strange has started to occur. They were not only throwing missiles, but they too were throwing tear gas canisters against police officers from that headquarters. I think we now appreciate why police officers decided actually to engage them there. Their violent tendencies actually led to, as I informed you much earlier, that 6 officers were injured, 2 very serious. They were issued medical report forms. They went to hospital. So we brought those who were arrested. We have charged 75. Out of the 117, we have released 36. And these statements we obtained from the 6 individuals I've mentioned. But sorry, they were granted bail. They are supposed to report today, and they will eventually be charged to court and profiled.
And upon their arrival at the scene, ASP Augustine Kabia informed me that there are a series of barricades at Old Railway Line which they need to remove so that they can allow peaceful citizens to go about their normal activities. So I also admonish him to engage the ringleader or those that are actually matured among the protesters so that they can see reason to negotiate and to stop such acts and channel their matters or concerns to the appropriate authorities. Indeed, they comply to that, to dialogue with the people, even though they fail to adhere. They continue making barricades, burning of tires. I believe the representative of the police media that was there was able to actually televise the scene where they were pelting stones at the police, and even the CS gas they fired against the police. The interesting thing to unfold to this panel this afternoon that the CS gas they use against the police is far different than the one we are using, and which was submitted to the Criminal Investigation Department for further investigation.
The new Member of Parliament for Constituency 128 for the Sierra Leone People's Party, Benjamin Toure, has on Sunday, 2nd June 2019, held his first stakeholders meeting with members of his constituency to thank them for their support and also to outline some of his plans for the constituency. George Elliott Sam reports.
The newly Member of Parliament for Constituency 128, which comprises Wilberforce and Hill Station for the Sierra Leone People's Party (SLPP), Benjamin Toure, has on Sunday, 2nd June 2019, held its first stakeholder meeting with members of his constituency in order to thank them for their support and also to outline some of the plan he has for the constituency. While speaking to Star Television in an interview, Honorable Benjamin Toure said he is very delighted and called on all to work together for the good of the constituency. He went further to outline some of his plan he has for the constituency.
For this meeting, in the case of what the outcome of the petition case, and I end up to be the winner of the court matter, and so I'm here to call my people and just say thanks to them, their support they given to me during the day, during the night, they are with me, so I'm here to tell them thanks and ready to give them my support at least to also deliver this constituency. Well, of course, as the people know that since start I've been with them and I've been doing my best to see that things goes better in the constituency, to bring development in the constituency. So I just believe that I will still continue the same thing I started. Well, of course, I feel good because I end up to be the winner, and of course the courts have gone through all the rulings to see that we have the right, and we need to set some precedents. You understand? We need to set precedents when whatever thing we start and it's going to be end. If you know you are going for any election, you have to go through the constitution and know that certain rules that you should not go against. When you go against, you're going to face the penalty. So I just thank everything that's come out from the court. And of course, as I can say, we are all Sierra Leoneans. We are not from other countries. We are all Sierra Leoneans. I just believe that I'm going to work with everybody. I'm going to open my hands to welcome everybody to see that the development of this constituency to another level.
Other stakeholders from the Sierra Leone People's Party, ranging from the constituency chairman and the district chairman, also made their contribution and called on all and sundry to work together for the good of Sierra Leone.
Oh, the exercise is very good because we have fought a very good fight and we have won. This is one particular constituency. I have 7 constituencies in my district, but this is one of the constituencies I actually banked upon that we are going to win because in all of the major polling centers we defeated our opponent APC. But what happened, they did not announce outrightly, we can't tell. But as God may have it, today we have our honorable here. You must not forget that he is the people's honorable. As you can see, he's a very young man and very dynamic. He has been working across the board, whether APC or SLPP or NGC. And I'm pretty sure now that he's been declared a winner and is representing the entire constituency in Parliament, I don't think you'll be saying I'm representing SLPP and leave APC and other parties out. He'll be representing everybody. And I just want him to note, if he's going to listen to this particular message, that the campaign for 2020 starts now, and he has to make sure he brings everybody on board.
We are here to celebrate the victory of the outcome of the High Court ruling in terms of somebody who did everything possible because they thought they would have done it all. But thank God for democracy and rule of law in this country. So today we are here to celebrate and to reduce the people of this constituency that we won the constituency back. I'm expecting to work with everybody, irrespective of whatever who are being good for him or not good for him, and so on, so that we start to make sure that we embrace and bring the constituency under the SLPP. And this time around, we are encouraging all the other side, the APC people, to come on board because we can do better than what APC will do.
For Star News in Freetown, George Elliott Sam reporting.
You're still with the national news here on Star Television Network Channel 21, and on to the next story. Sierra Leone's Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow has disclosed during a stakeholders meeting held in Potloko District that the chairman and leader of the main opposition All People's Congress Party, Dr. Anes Baiko Omar, has refused to accept results of the 2018 presidential elections, and he called on all to embrace peace in the interest of nation building. Andrew Bestman filed in this report.
Mohamed Alpha Gassama, a stakeholder in the Potloko district, said the meeting was organized in Potloko to sensitize the people of the district to understand and accept the last results of the National Electoral Commission, so as to forge a common ground where peace and unity between members of the two parties must prevail.
We organized this meeting today in Potloko because, we feel safe Potloko people to come as one, to come as family. The problem of Potloko district, it was stopped, it was done, and not come as one, so that this, district could be peaceful and will focus on development.
Addressing his audience in Potloko district, Sierra Leone Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow disclosed during a stakeholders meeting that the chairman and leader of the main opposition All People's Congress Party, Dr. Anes Baiko Omar, has refused to accept results of the 2018 presidential elections, adding that he and his party will not regret it if any action is taken against the former president of the country. Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, however, called on party supporters and members of the opposition party to accept the results in the interest of maintaining the peace and unity of the country.
I want to say one thing. We want to let the country go before. But anybody who will not respect law and order will deal with you according to the law. Whether you're a parliamentarian or whether you're a minister or whether you're a former minister or if you don't respect the law, this government will deal with you according to the law. So then the message that they will get the blabber no they will. The blabber way there is that APC no one accepted and don't lost election. And they accepted and don't lost, and they don't serve. Where you go all over Africa, all over the world, anybody who don't be former president, if you be elderly statesman, you don't go put up on politics. But if you be chairman and leader of a party, who go treat you like chairman and leader of a party, who then treat you like former president. So that the message that if you want, then they say you're a former president, then no problem with treat you like former president. But if you behave like leader and chairman of a party, we will treat you like opposition leader. Now that's just not the law. Don't get that clear.
Former Minister of Information and Communications under the All People's Congress Party, Dr. Alpha Khan, and the Mayor of the Potloko City, His Worship Alhaji Abubakar Zozo Kamara, intimidated that if the ruling party is ready to establish peace in the district, they should organize a meeting inviting aggrieved members of the two political parties to dialogue and find a common ground where they can resolve their political indifference. He called on members of the government to demonstrate restraint in accommodating the views of the minority that will foster the desired peace leading to development of the country.
This title they fed today from 2018 to now, not of Anes Koroma and Babio Fetu.
Now Dr. Samura Kamara na infet EMBO so now do for big. Lord call pa Samura. Lord call pa Samura. Lord call him vice presidential candidate Honorable Cherno Majuba Cherikuku. When we don't call the one and day, Pabio don't sit down. They don't call Pajulde. They don't call Pa Neskuruma. They don't call Samsumana. They don't call Pa Victor Ford. They don't sit down. Una call Samura we lost election. We will all be the cry for. Una call for Cherikuku. We miss for be vice president for we own APC. Now they want to get the pen pass we. So now we for talk to. Now don't for beg. And they get the issue.
Now we don't get the vice president as the past speakers. And if you look today from who don't keep fast, who don't pray today, we didn't supportive for great location because it gets the appetite for can pray with we people, we are ready for it from. But without this say, we begin like you. No, if you like if you begin like you see put salad in a plate, they see all bing bing. You know they're going for Guitamu.
Andrew Bestman reporting.
Thank you very much, Hilton, for that sporting update. Well, viewers, that's all we have for you here in our local news bulletin file for the hour on Star Television Network Channel 21. I am Sienna Wright. Thanks for watching and do stay with us.